Action.
It's good to be back, and I'm fucking in. I'm in your place.
I know it's weird. You switched angles,
Crazy.
so it doesn't look like my house. But they don't know what my house looks like, anyways. I guess. But it's so
Well, I'm
weird,
trying to make it not look backlit, because I don't have drapes yet.
right?
You look at I got my book collection.
Is that your entire book collection?
No, I just I don't have a bookshelf yet. But no, it's amazing being here, man. It's I never realized how shitty my situation was till I fucking I have space. It's incredible.
Yeah, what I do when I meditate and try to think of you try to think of your life horribly to make yourself feel better,
Yes.
And I think of your life. I would sit there and be like, oh man, I could be squatting in front of a dumb fridge with DiGiorno boxes.
I'm your gratitude prompter.
Yeah, exactly.
I do it for a homeless guy outside. It actually was funny. I packed my stuff and it took me like 20 minutes to pack. And then we literally put in a U-Haul and drove. And as we were driving away, there was a homeless guy on the street who for sure had more possessions than I had in my U-Haul.
Well, I remember when we were years ago, Kurt Metzger, who's here at this festival, I'm at Skankfest, which is the best.
Yeah.
I'll put in a good word for you next year.
Yeah. I never get the invite.
Yeah, it makes sense. But next year we'll get you in. Maybe we'll do a live pod next year.
That would be amazing. Yeah. I did it once. I did it in New York. It was really fun. They're a great crowd.
It's like the best festival. It's the best American festival by far.
Yeah. Because it's a crowd that's like that's the thing. The non-PC crowd are the most inclusive because they'll like any type of joke.
Yes, exactly.
So it's just like perfect. It's the perfect audience.
No, everyone does jokes about how it's like rapey and crazy here and everybody's a piece of shit, but it's like the nicest people. Like everywhere I go, everyone's just like really nice and thoughtful.
Well, they're probably not trying to be rapey to you. Yeah, just to be fair.
Yeah, but I'm also with a woman and there's tons of women here. I'm going to bet all my money that no one gets raped here.
Well, I mean, even if there's even one rape, that'll be bad. You can't even have one rape at a festival.
Yeah, but it sounded like you were pushing back. Like, no, they are rapey. You just don't see it. I'm telling you, I'm here and they're good people.
I'm saying they're probably good people. I'm just saying, as a man, you don't always have the full perspective. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, but except I'm talking to women and hanging out with women at the festival.
Okay.
And there are other women also at the festival. Lots of women.
All right. Okay. Great. But no, I did the festival once. It was great. It was a great crowd. Yeah. They're just like they're just
comedy fans.
Comedy fans. Yeah, they're just comedy fans.
That's what they are. They're comedy fans.
Yeah.
And then like comics keep doing jokes about how they live in their basement and stuff. I'm like, they all traveled to come here. They're like staying in the Hilton for 3 days.
Yeah, I mean, they must have got some money from their parents or something. But
I guess a bunch. But let's talk movies. I mean, let's get into it. Did you read the topics?
Did I read I did not, but I got a couple from Instagram too. So I'm going to read some too.
Okay, great. And the legend Colin Quinn sent us some stuff, which I feel like we have to take his stuff.
Yeah, maybe one day we'll have him on. I'd love to have him on.
Nah, that's not going to
happen. Not going to come on?
No, he'll come on. He hates podcasts, despises podcasts, and doesn't care for Jews either.
Fuck. God damn it. Well, maybe, let's talk movies. Yeah.
Let me throw a couple Collins out so we don't forget them.
Okay. Yes.
But he's kind of answered them for us. He said, how about best stand-ups in a movie performance that's not their own movie? And then he mentions Albert Brooks in Taxi Driver and Sandra Bernhardt in King of Comedy. And then he adds Richard Pryor, Lady Sings the Blues. Then he says dramas only. So he's kind of named a bunch of them.
Yeah.
Lady Sings the Blues.
Yeah. He answers his own fucking question. What do we do now? We just got to think of
I think we answers. Just, out of respect, we say his name. Well, who are some other comics that were good? And what about A Few Good Men? I mean, wait, did we do this?
Well, we did comedians' best performances, but I don't know if it was like specifically stand-ups.
This is stand-ups in a drama that's not a movie they're starring.
Stand-ups in a drama. Yeah.
Like, I mean, Casino, Don Rickles, fantastic.
Yeah, it's not like it's not like the big, he just gets hit on the head with a telephone. It's not like exactly like a lot of range there,
He's got lines.
He's good.
I'm starting the conversation. I'm getting it going. Kevin Pollak, A Few Good Men.
Kevin Pollak is great in A Few Good Men. He is really good. I'm trying to think. Well, Adam Sandler. He was a comic.
In what? And what was he in? What was he good in?
fucking the Jew, fucking the Jew and the
Oh,
diamonds.
that movie.
He was great at that. He was fucking
He was great. He was great. That movie's fine. I don't know. I watched it the second time. I couldn't get through it.
I think it might be one of the best, stand-up performances. I think.
Yes, he's very good. But let's be honest, Adam Sandler is an actor. I mean, he did stand up in 1987 in New Hampshire twice.
And it was him playing songs, so it doesn't really count.
Yeah. I mean, he is not only is he an actor, he's like the highest grossing actor in history. It's not even
wait, he is? What?
I think so. I think Adam Sandler is like the biggest box office actor, like top 2 anyways.
That's not true. That can't be.
I'll look it up. I mean, his movies make tons of money.
Yeah, but it's like you can't compare that to like Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm telling you.
Really?
Hold on. Let's look it up. I bet it's bigger than Leo. Hold on. You talk.
All right. Well, I'm trying to think of some other. I mean, Jackie Gleason, obviously, we talked about this, is amazing in The Hustler, but I mean, he wasn't a stand-up, right? There was stand-up even invented at that point. That was like back when you just like borrowed, street jokes, But I'm trying to think. Prior, I mean, Robin Williams, you can say. I mean, I'm surprised he didn't mention Robin Williams in anything.
Sorry, I can't look up and talk at the same time.
Okay. What am I going to just do a monologue while you're ignoring me?
Well, we need a producer. Well, Sam. This says Sam Jackson #1, Robert Downey Jr. 2.
Yeah, of course. Well, you think this Adam Sandler compares to like fucking Iron Man bullshit? It's a crazy fact that I'm glad we
should be able to cut out action movie. If you're in not action movies, but you know what I mean.
Caveats, yeah.
Fucking what's it called? Adam Sandler on this list is number 23.
You sounded like you're correct. You're like, he is number 23.
I'm reading. I'm fucking reading it. But I have to say though, it's like Mark Ruffalo's not selling the tickets. Iron Man, whatever the fuck he plays, Wolverine is selling the tickets. No one's like, oh my God, I gotta go see the new Mark Ruffalo. Whereas Adam Sandler, in fact, there are caveats. Like Sam Jackson, Robert Downey Jr., those are comic book movies or just a ton of movies. Sam Jackson is in 63, which is way more of these.
No one's
I'm talking star power drawing.
Yeah, no one's like just a grown-ups 2 fanatic, and then Adam Sandler just happens to be in it,
Yeah, and this, I don't even know who this person is. Zoe Saldana?
You don't know her?
No.
You don't know that. You don't know the comic book world. She's the green lady in the Avengers movie. She's been like all different colors. She's black in real life, but she's like green in Avengers, and she's blue in Avatar. You see Avatar?
Yeah, I hated it.
She's the blue lady in Avatar.
I do genuinely think if you remove comic books, it's like Tom Hanks, Bradley Cooper, who's also has Guardians of the Galaxy, Harrison Ford, Tom Cruise. Those are people that sell tickets.
Yes. I mean, you did say highest grossing.
Well, I guess I'm amending what I'm saying. I'm saying he's one of the biggest box office. He's
probably the first Jew. Is he the first
actor.
Jew? Maybe that. Is he
massive
the first Jew?
actor. He's also the only one that's pure comedy, just doing comedies, basically. I mean, I guess he's done some bullshit. Is Vin Diesel a Jew?
No, he's not a Jew.
Is Don Cheadle a Jew?
No one with Diesel. I know that last time Jewish.
Scarlett Johansson, I think she's a Jew, right?
Is she? Oh, maybe she is.
I don't know. Johansson doesn't sound very Jewish.
Funny if Diesel was a Jew. Yeah, his full name was like Dieselowski, Dieselenberg, and it got shortened.
Ben Stiller's right behind him.
Okay, well, yeah. So he's the highest grossing Jewish.
There's no Jews anywhere. I'm looking. I'm going all the way down. I mean,
because to be highest grossing, you need to hit those Midwest numbers, and the Midwest ain't all about the Jews,
Holy shit! I mean, Mel Gibson's the closest thing to a Jew. He's at 56.
I guess he's
Adam Driver, Tim Allen. I mean, there's no Jews anywhere in here. Natalie Portman, number 72. There you
she's
go.
a kike. Yeah.
Jesus Christ, you can't say that.
I can say that. It's like the N-word. I can say it. I mean, I can't say the N-word, but I can say the K-word.
All right, fuck it. Maybe I'll convert. I love that word.
It's a fun word. I think it means circle in Yiddish. Because when the Jews went to the Ellis Island, you had to, this is probably not true, but here, this is like, those urban things. You had to write your name next to sign it with a T, Okay. But that looked like a cross. So they just wrote a circle instead. And then in Yiddish, circle is kike. So I guess they're like, you're kikes. I don't know. This story fell apart as I told it.
No, the story stinks. It's terrible. All right, what are some of your topic? We got to get to movies.
stand-ups.
No
That one?
topics. You had topics. You said on Instagram.
Oh
or
yeah.
something.
I got a couple people because they didn't know about the Twitter thing, so they fucking Instagram me. So let me go to Jolo's movie.
You said it like they really put you out. They fucking Instagram me.
I know they really put me in a corner here. All right, this is a question by Donut Burger. Do you agree with George?
Is that you?
Do you agree that Raanan is the way more attractive member? No. Do you agree with George C. Scott when he described the Oscar ceremony as 2-hour meat parade, a public display with contrived suspense for economic reasons? What?
Probably. I mean, I think it's fun. But as I get older and cynical, sometimes there's a lot of things that I just enjoy, and vice versa,
Yes.
by the way, that people enjoy. And I'm like, fuck that. Like comic book movies and reality shows
Yes.
and fucking The Sopranos, that people are like, it's fun and I like it and it's great or whatever. And I'm like, you're a piece of shit. It's a piece of shit. I hope you
Yes.
die. I hope they die. And vice versa. The Oscars to me are fun. It's fun. I like the competition. I like the awards. I like the surprise. I like, jerking off to the men and women in their nice outfits.
There are a
It's
lot of hot people.
It's exciting. It's fun to have the outrage. It's less fun now because it's become so obviously PC, like nonsense.
Right. And it's full of movies you just aren't excited for. It used to be the big movies of the year. Now it's just like this transgender homeless woman is in a phone booth for an hour and a half, and then it's just like very small movies,
Yeah, it stinks. And also it's not funny. It's no longer funny. You're not allowed to be funny. It used to be funny. There'd be a comic that would make fun of everybody and there'd be some fun. And I really did. I like this big crane shot. And I like actors. I like seeing the actors in their suits and their dresses and being funny. And the speeches used to be a little bit less overtly political. And it was fun. It was some fun.
They don't have hosts anymore, right?
I think last year they didn't. It was COVID. It was that weird COVID shit. It was like in a hotel room.
But I think literally they were like, oh, hosts are just going to offend people. So let's just not have a host.
No, it's because they can't agree on a host.
Oh, right.
Because they all said something. Yeah.
Yeah. Because there's no one who can do it. Yeah.
Here's a good movie topic. Good Oscar host who's never hosted the Oscars. That's a good topic.
That's a good question. Well, let me say my thing about the Oscars and then we'll go to that one. So I agree with you completely. I used to love the Oscars. And first, I'm not a sports guy. And me betting on the Oscars was like the Oscars was the closest thing my gay ass had to sports.
Right.
I'd be like, I hope this movie wins. You know what I mean? It's like the only time I could be like, yeah, The Pianist wins Best Picture.
One of my favorite stories was the night of the National College Football National Championship. Rick Chrome, Rick Chrome?
Yeah, comic, yeah.
He's a comedian at the Cellar. He's a gay man. And he was like, what? He was on the phone. And he's like, Alabama? Are you kidding? Whoa, that's crazy. And he hung up and DePaul was like, Rick, I didn't know you liked football. And he's like, what? I'm talking about Miss America. It's fucking hilarious. Anyway, so Oscars were your sports.
Oscars are my sports. I mean, I don't care as much anymore just because I don't even know what movies are out. It's all streaming and the whole thing is all done. But yeah, I love Oscars. And I love, they've had some, it's just fun. It's just a fun, stupid thing,
Yeah, it was always a fun
things
night.
In life. Yeah.
Yes, but you could make fun and get outraged. Look at that outfit. Look at that stupid thing. And I still love it. I still love the Oscars. Last year was a fucking abomination, but hopefully they bring comedy
I don't even
back.
know if I watched it. Yeah.
Conan would be a good host.
Conan would be great. Mulaney would be great.
Oh, interesting. I like that.
Mulaney would be awesome. I mean, Chris Rock was amazing, but the ones who are really funny, they don't have anymore,
Yeah, because it's too edgy.
It's too edgy, but he was great. Like, like what he said, like the best acting every year is when all the other actors pretend to not be upset when someone wins when they cut to them.
Right.
We should give an Academy Award for that.
That's great. DePaulo wrote for him. So did Rich Voss.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
So who else would be good? Let me think of some other people here. Schumer. She's
Amy?
In that world. I'm trying to think of people
Amy,
that like
Amy or Chuck.
Chuck would just be really depressing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's like, what do you mean by good? You mean like we would find funny?
I'm saying like we got to come up with someone that could be. I mean, you can't
Could
be
be,
like
okay.
fucking Nick DiPaolo.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's got to be someone that like, hey,
Clearly, yeah, of course.
like
'Cause
imagine
clearly,
we're on the Academy. We're trying to come up with a host.
clearly Bill Burr would be the funniest.
Yeah,
anyone.
Burr would be good. I mean,
He
Louis would
but
be
he
great.
he wouldn't. I mean, Louis was amazing when he gave that. Do you remember the one he did for like
He did
documentary?
short film or something like that. Yeah.
He
Something.
was like, you got to understand, everyone else here is doing well except these people. This
Yeah,
actually
yeah.
matters to. They're all going back home in a 92 Volvo.
Yeah, that was great. He was great at that stuff. Well, it'd be fun if he hosted. We could write for him.
I know, right? That would be amazing. Yeah, Burr. Yeah, Burr. I mean, Burr would probably be the fucking just because he just wouldn't know anything. It would just be hilarious, you know.
Yeah.
But
But you got to get someone
look at
from
Sean
that
Penn
world.
crying like a bitch.
Remember, Chris Rock made fun of Jude Law. Then Sean Penn came out and yelled at him or something.
Yes, and that kind of ruined Jude Law. I think that was kind of like the Merlot sideways situation. He said like he said like Jude Law is in every movie making cupcakes in the back. He can't be like he can't ever like star in a movie. He kind of stopped getting a lot of work after that. I think Chris Rock tanked him.
Interesting. Well, Chris Rock had my favorite line at the Grammys, and I think DePaulo wrote it. It was after Good Charlotte performed. Chris Rock came out and said, "Good Charlotte, more like a mediocre Green Day." I think it was Nick's line, but it's hilarious. I'm gonna see how many times I can mention Nick in this podcast.
Yeah, the people you choose to name drop.
He's in a film coming up.
Oh yeah, he's great at it, man. So good.
Thank you.
I think Conan would be great. Mulaney. Yeah, I'm trying to think like who else.
Tim Dillon.
This next pedophile coming to the stage
is me.
Yeah, those are good. Those are good. Those are good options. Yeah.
All right, what else you got? You got something else from fucking
Yeah, let me
Donut
see.
Hamburger or whatever it's called?
No, I got a couple. Is Joe mad he has to wait another 6 months for the new Top Gun?
I am mad, actually. It
Yeah?
was supposed to come out last year. I'm
what
excited for
happened?
Top Gun. I'll go see. Well, I think there was a pandemic of some sort.
Yeah, but no, every other movie came in, didn't it?
I think they were holding out for it to still be a big thing. And I'm still going to the movies. I hate these people that aren't going to the movies. Fuck streaming. I hate streaming.
I know.
I
love the
really hate
movies.
it. You got to go to the movies and buy the popcorn. But I get it. I think it's similar with sports. People are just at home. And Joe
Yeah.
Bartnick, the comedian, was just talking about this. Burr posted it, talking about hockey games. I think people went out and they got bigger, better TVs, better couches. They improved their housing. And they're just like, come over. I got a fucking huge couch and a big screen TV. You're never leaving that house again.
No, it's tough. I mean, the TVs are getting bigger, the couches are getting nicer, and it's like the pandemic did kind of push things. They were kind of already going in that direction, and now it just pushes into it. And then you go to the movies. I mean, the movies are nice. I like going to the movie theater, but you see so many previews. By the end of it, you forget what movie you're about to see. There's so many previews. You're like, I don't even remember my name now. It's just like who is it? Where am I? And then you get some people like talking in the movie theater, which can be a real issue.
It's brutal.
I'm not going to say who, but a certain group, it's, part of their culture, and they'll talk and you can't really call them out because then you look racist, talking about Chinese people. And it really so that, you don't have that in your house,
Yeah. And the TV thing is no joke. We watched the other day, we're here at the Skank Fest. And of course we leave at 7 p.m. because that's when the fucking heroin comes out. So we have to go home. But we're at the Hilton here in downtown Houston, which I want to give a plug to. This is the Hilton of the Americas, it's called. This is one of the nicest hotels I've ever stayed in.
Really?
The TV is 300 inches long, 400 inches tall, and it's like super high def right in front of the bed. It's just, and Kill Bill Volume 2 came on right from the beginning. It was like a home movie experience. We're laying there. We had sex doggy style during the
nice.
the fucking
Wait, you fucked during the movie?
No, I'm joking.
Oh. I was like, that's kind of hot.
I wouldn't be able to come the whole movie. I'd just be doing the dialogue. I'm just behind her going, and we deserve to die.
She'd probably get upset if you're fucking her, but you're just staring at Uma Thurman.
Hey, that's not bad. I might try that.
And you don't have anyone talking. That's the thing. The talking thing became a real, I mean, after the pandemic, I don't know anymore, but the talking before the pandemic was a real issue in movie theaters.
But you're missing the worst part. Worse than the talking is
the
phones. They're
Yes.
always lit up, and it's so distracting to me. Just even if it's the tiniest fucking light in the peripheral, it takes you out of it, because that's what the magical thing about movies. And Sam Harris talks about this too. It's like meditative. You've left yourself. You have no
Yes.
sense of self. You're in the
Yes.
story, in a good movie, which is actually
Yes.
relatively rare. You're
Yes.
in the movie. I'm
You've
in
lost it.
fucking, I'm robbing a bank with Al Pacino. And then I just see bloop, a little light over here. And you go, what's that over there? And now my focus is on my anger towards this person.
You're
and I'll
back
even
to
put
your
my
shitty
hand up.
self.
Yeah, I have to like do this.
I mean, that's bad. I mean, I'm annoyed by the phone, but honestly, I'm way more annoyed by the talking. I find the talking like the talking guy. There's a couple times where I just left the movie theater because like it was ruining the movie. One time, people were talking. These a bunch of young kids. They're not. I was joking about the black thing. They're all different kinds of assholes, and every ethnicity talk. But this group was talking, young black kids. They were just talking, and it was a horror movie. And they were laughing a lot, so it was like ruining the tension, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I think they were just scared, and so they were laughing, but it was ruining it. And they're talking, and I told an usher. Did I told this story?
No, but I have a similar story. Keep telling it.
I told an usher, I'm like, can you talk to these kids? Because I don't want to talk to them, you know? And I swear to God, the usher went up to them and goes, that guy over there wants you to be quiet. I'm like, what the fuck?
You got to do that as a bit. I mean, that is so funny. You did tell me that.
Yeah, I'm like, well, you
I mean,
can't
that's
just,
hilarious.
like you can't just fucking point it out. That's why I even get you.
Well, it's also hilarious that you think this guy works for like a security company. He makes $7 an hour. The kid's probably friends with them. He's probably getting, $6.50 an hour. He has acne.
I'm like 45. I'm asking an 18-year-old to talk to 3 15-year-olds.
No, I had a similar thing, and it was a documentary about some priest, like a good priest. One of the rare documentaries about like a priest that was pretty good.
Yeah, you don't hear that. At the end, it's in the captions be like, he did fuck kids. We just didn't mention it.
Yeah, during the captions at the end.
I need credits.
But the same situation, same group of kids, and I went out to go tell somebody, and when I was walking out, they were like, this motherfucker's snitching on us. He's going to snitch, you fucking prick. And then as I was walking down, I heard them walking down the other side. So then I came out and I was like, oh, I'm going to have to fight and I kind of got in like that fight mode of like, because there was nowhere to like run. I'm not going to like hide in another theater or leave. But luckily they knew they were going to they were like 14. So they just went across to the other theater. And I just went back inside to watch the movie because I was like, well, if they're in that theater, I'm not going to go tell anybody. I don't care.
Terrifying. They're going to beat you up?
I mean, no, they just went to the other theater, but there was 3 kids that I was like, all right, well, there's nowhere to go. So I guess I'm just going to have to confront these 3 kids. But they were like 14 or 15. I could have fucked one of them up, I think.
Don't you wish we could be the guys? This was a big issue I had in theaters when people were talking. Don't you wish we could be the George Costanza on that one episode? Don't you wish you could just be like, shut the fuck up? But I can't be that guy. When I hear the talking, I sit there and I'm just filled with this anger about not being that guy and not being able to be that guy. It's a whole like existential thing that it just spirals.
See, I've been that guy.
You said shut up?
Yes, but I have the thing too of like, if this gets physical, I'm in serious trouble.
Well, yeah. Well,
but you can't resist saying it. Yeah. But even with, the thing is, I talk about this all the time. Even with like, I've been training in MMA for like a couple of years now, but even still, somebody could have a weapon or they've just been training more in MMA. You have no idea who's who.
I know. And like, I don't know. I actually was in a situation recently. I was with this girl and we were like on a date and I ordered a curb, like a cab to go. This was literally Friday at the Cellar or one of these days. I think Friday. I ordered a curb to go back to my place. And as we're walking to the curb, the app, taxi, a drunken kid gets in, the thing we ordered. And we're like, sir, you need to leave. And he's like, no, this is my fucking cab. And he wouldn't get out. It was like a whole situation.
Oh, wow.
And the driver was like, can you please get out? I ordered, I have and he's like, no, I'm fucking staying, man. Fuck you all. What are you going to do about it? And I'm with this girl. So I'm like, do I have to fight him now? And
I can't even imagine you throwing a punch. You don't seem like a person that could like throw a baseball. Or
I got one fight in my life and I won, and I'm just trying to keep that, score.
Who'd you fight? Your fucking niece?
This guy, he was smaller than me. I won, but it was my sister's ex-boyfriend. But it wasn't defending her honor, by the way.
I
Whenever
know,
I
did
say
he-
that,
yeah. Sounds
whenever
like he
I
hit
say-
her.
no, I know it wasn't. He was making fun of me. Well,
You're like, no,
I
no,
was
he
defen-
did hit her, but then he called me a fat Jew.
Yeah, he actually did. Well, anyway, yeah, I was defending my honor, but but yeah, so I didn't know what to do, and then I come around the end, I open the door, and he's like, I'm like, sir, get
And
the
you were
fuck
like,
out.
Hey, you get your damn hands off her.
But I didn't know what to say. The guy in the cab, and I was getting mad. He was disrespecting the fucking driver. You know,
Right.
the Pakistani or Indian or whatever fucking driver. He was disrespecting him, and I'm like, sir, you need to leave. And he's like, what are you gonna do about it? So eventually,
Oh, jeez.
I know. So eventually, I was like, I guess I'm gonna call the cops. So I get out the phone to call the cops, and then I'm like, I don't want to wait here all night for the cops.
The cops are gonna be upset with you if you call.
I know.
But the guy's in a seated position. Just fucking blast him in the face. I mean, he's at such a disadvantage.
Yeah, but like, to what end? Like what is it? Like, I would have
Being
to
a man,
basically-
getting laid, eating
I
some
would have
pussy.
to open the cab and basically what, push him out?
But you'd pull him out. You can't push
Pull
him
him out.
What are you
Yeah,
gonna, like
see, I'm
crawl on your
already
hands and
fucking-
knees across the thing?
I'm already fucking up. I'm doing the wrong thing.
But I
I'm
mean,
losing hypothetically right now.
But you have a lot of advantages here. I mean, sure, you're an uncoordinated Jew, but he's drunk and seated
Yes.
and
But here's the-
conceited.
He is very conceited. But here's the thing I'm worried about. See, I don't know why I have this, but my anxiety, it's kind of crazy. I'm not only worried about getting beat up. I'm worried about accidentally killing the other person. Like in Con Air, I'm worried that I'll like throw him on the ground and then a car will drive over his head. And then I'm in like Rikers for 15 years.
Yeah, I got a bit like that.
How you're afraid you're going to kill me? Yeah. So anyway, we just laughed and the cab driver sadly drove off with him in the back seat.
Oh, you
don't know.
lost?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Oh, that's humiliating.
I know. Well, I already hooked up with a girl, so it wasn't like that Louis episode where he like, you remember that Louis episode where the kid's like really mean to him, and that woman's like, I'll be honest, I don't find you attractive anymore.
That's really funny.
All right, let's do some more
where you going,
questions.
Steph? Oh, fun.
Hey, that's the first time Sarah's been in the pod.
Yeah.
She's
made an
never been in.
appearance.
Yeah, she's never made an appearance. But yeah, let's do some more questions. Steve, by the
Yeah.
way, recorded his album last night. or
Steve
special.
Rogers?
Yes, Steve
that's
Rogers.
great.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Which sequels have the largest drop in quality from the first film?
Mm.
I mean, I never really fully watched it, but I got to assume Jaws 2. I mean, any movie that's like one of the greatest, and then the sequel is made by somebody nothing to do with that.
Well, Jaws 2 is very funny because they just do the same thing. But so there's another shark, and Roy Scheider's like, it's a shark, clearly. But then the mayor just still doesn't believe him.
It's funny.
Roy Scheider's like, it just happened. It's like, yeah, but this time I think we shouldn't close the beaches again. So it becomes very like repetitive. But then do you know what they do for the sequels? But I agree. I think Jaws 2 might be one of the biggest drop-offs, even though Jaws 2 is pretty fun.
It's funny because Jaws 2 was on AMC or something the other day, and I threw it on. And there was one scene where the lady was like jet skiing, and I was like, "Oh, this is pretty fun." The shark's like going really
No, it's
fast
fun.
as a fin.
Yeah.
I'm like, "Yeah, this isn't bad."
No, it's that's a good scene. It's a fun movie, and there's like some good kid actors at the end. No, he eats a helicopter at one point. It's like a fun it's he eats the helicopter. This was the perfect gesture.
It's
But
hilarious. I would have done
but yeah.
this.
Oh yeah, I guess you're right. But anyway, it's really good. But then Jaws is very interesting because Jaws, they keep on doing sequels, but there's no link in the movie because it's just a shark who dies in the first one. So they're like, what do we do for the second one? And so
Like,
it
here's
has to be
another shark.
it has to be a coincidence. So the second one, here's another shark, and the mayor doesn't believe him. But then the third one, they're like, what do we do? Because Roy Scheider's like, I'm done with this. I can't convince the mayor a third time, right? So they're like, who do we make the main character? And you know what they do?
Dennis Quaid, and it's an amusement, an aquarium.
Yeah, but you know who Dennis Quaid is?
His son.
His son, who works at the water still, even though he's been involved in like 3 shark attacks by now. He works at the water, and now there's another shark, which is still a huge coincidence that these sharks keep on being around the Brody family.
Yeah, why not just have a new family?
It should have been a new family, but they didn't do that because they didn't know the link. So it just became these major coincidences, and no one in any of the movies is ever like, it's kind of weird that all these sharks are.
Well, I felt that way with Speed 2, which I'm sure is another drop out. I know a lot of these sequels I never watched, but I was like, you can make a Speed 2 starring Keanu Reeves, but you can't make a Speed 2 starring Sandra Bullock.
I know.
She has her second domestic terrorist incident. That's hilarious.
That's a good point. Yeah, it's a big coincidence. But then you know what they do for the fourth Jaws? They're forced into it. In the fourth Jaws, they finally do the thing where the shark is actually trying to get revenge from the other sharks who died. And he's literally, it's called Jaws for the Revenge. Shark is literally going after members of the Brody family as revenge.
But isn't Jaws 2 called The Revenge?
No, it's Jaws for the Revenge. Jaws 4 is finally where they get like supernatural and the shark is like actually after them, which at that point is probably more believable than just a fourth coincidence.
Rocky 2 is actually pretty good.
It is?
Yeah, it's okay.
Rocky 2.
What's that?
Who does he fight in Rocky 2?
He fights Apollo again, but this time he beats him.
But he beats him this time. So it's like the perfect ending. Yeah, I'd say Jaws 2. Jaws 2 is actually pretty good, but yeah, I'm trying to think of what is something that's just awful as a sequel and great in the first one.
Major League 2. Major League 2 is pretty bad.
The bad? Yeah.
I mean, there's a couple jokes in it that are pretty decent.
Most movies where the first one is good, the second one's usually pretty good still. You know what I mean? Like Jurassic Park 2 is pretty good. It's not terrible, but it's like pretty good.
Home Alone 2 is decent.
Yeah. It's usually by the third one that it really falls apart. I'm trying to think of there's one where it's just like the second one. Usually if the first one's really good, the second one's pretty good. Toy Story 2 is pretty good.
What about Rambo 2?
I mean, I don't know. Rambo. Is Rambo 1 pretty good?
Oh, yeah. First Blood's pretty good. It's fun.
Yeah. Every
because
sequel.
First Blood it's similar to the Rockies. It makes sense. Like First Blood, it's like a Vietnam vet and they're treating him like shit. I mean, it's a little over the top how much they're treating him like shit. They're like blasting him with a hose and being like, you piece of shit scumbag.
Is it like it's like hippies in a town or something? Or?
No, they're like conservatives. They like hate him because he's a baby killer. Because Vietnam vets got shit when they came back.
Yeah, by the hippies, not by the conservatives.
I don't know. Well, these are like cops and shit. Brian Dennehy.
They're just like really like hippie cops. They're like, fuck you, man, fighting in Vietnam, man. Yeah, that's bizarre.
But it's like he's like a crazy specialist, dangerous guy. And he's getting treated like shit and nobody wants him. So he goes up into the woods and he's like, fuck you, I'm just gonna go in the woods. And they're like, we gotta go get this dangerous guy. And they're like, you don't know who you're fucking with. This is John Rambo. Like, it's actually pretty conceivable.
So they just really picked the wrong person to torture for no reason.
Exactly. But then like part 3, they're like, we're at war with Afghanistan. You're going to fight him. It's like, send him in. And he's got the bullets everywhere. And he's like, go, 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 go. And like, they're like, we can harness this power now.
So the first movie is just a purely like he's fighting other Americans. It's purely domestic. Because I've only seen the other Rambos where he's like fighting, like he's just killing like Arabs and shit.
No, you should watch the first one. We should talk about it sometime. It's not a great movie, but it's a pretty good movie. But like I said, you can put yourself in it and be like, okay, this makes sense. I'm down for this.
Yeah, it's tough to find a really bad second. Like Die Hard 2 is pretty good.
Major League 2 stinks. Young Guns 2 is great. Young Guns 2, that movie's great.
Yeah, I'm trying to think, what is a sequel where it's just awful compared to the first one? Like the first one's great and the second one's shit. Where's that biggest drop off?
There's got to be other, like the sequel, the original person is just not involved at all.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I got one.
Like Jaws.
The Dumber Dumber.
There you
go. One? What is the second one?
Dumb and Dumberer.
But it was like different actors.
Yes, they're like kids.
Yeah, that one actually that actually opens a whole leg because then you got The Mask. I feel like that was the second one where it's like a baby or some shit.
Right.
Yeah. So yeah, basically any comedy. The second one's really bad.
Yeah, I think so. Good point. Sometimes it's hard to think about this. We really should get these questions and spend time thinking about them.
I mean, there's a lot of things we should do better in this.
Well, we're gonna change. We're gonna make some changes. I'm on the road right now. So.
Yeah, we're gonna make some changes. Yeah. This is the studio.
I lost my question. Yeah, we're gonna be in studio soon. Which director do you love that nonetheless has made a bunch of terrible films? I mean, immediately Francis Ford Coppola comes to mind.
Yeah, Coppola's great. I mean, is a great example.
Yeah.
Coppola. I mean, Payne's last movie was such shit, but that's just one shitty movie.
Yeah, but I also hated The Descendants. Isn't that him too?
Yeah, but I just reread that screenplay. I think that's really good. I think we might have overlooked that one.
All right. I remember
Woody
hating it.
No, it's good. Woody Allen's a great example. He's made some shit.
Woody's made some bad movies, but he's made like 70 movies. So he's made like 20 bad ones.
Oh, for me, it might be 100. Number one might be Clint Eastwood for me. Because I love some Clint Eastwood movies, and there's some that are dog shit.
Clint Eastwood, I mean, that El Torino is, or Gran Torino, whatever the fuck it's called, is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, but
American Sniper is one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Unforgiven.
But he's not, but that for me, it's different. This is directors you love that have made bad movies. To me, Clint Eastwood's a director I hate that's made good movies.
Yeah, I guess
that's the reverse.
Yeah, I guess you're like, he's made a, yeah, you're right. For you, it's different. Spielberg is maybe the best example. Spielberg can really go both ways, you know? That's the thing about Scorsese. Scorsese really, all his movies, even his ones that don't work, are still pretty good or interesting. Like, Scorsese can't really make that bad of a movie. They're all kind of interesting. And the same thing with Coen Brothers. But Spielberg has gone both ways. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely. Well said. I mean, that was a question before we had. It was the worst Scorsese movie, and it's hard to come up with one.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure one of those movies I haven't seen. He did like 12, like the Dalai Lama or whatever.
Yeah,
fucking
Kundun or Kun.
But I'm sure that's really good too. It's just boring, but I'm sure it's really good. So it's like, yeah. So Scorsese's really consistent. People like P.T. Anderson, they can't really make a bad movie. You know,
I never saw Inherent Vice. People fucking hate that movie.
Yeah, it's true, but it's probably just weird. You know what I mean? Like, it's probably not all. Like, Spielberg has made some movies where I'm like, if I just only saw that movie, I'd be like, this director has no talent.
I think Fincher's made some great movies to me, but he's another guy that I actually don't love. But he's made some really good movies and really bad movies.
Yeah, his first half is shit and his second half is good. Yeah, he's a good one. But I'd say Spielberg number one for sure.
Yeah, I guess so. That makes sense to me.
Yeah, Spielberg number one.
All right. This guy had the sequel. So and then his third question: best dramatic performance from a comedic actor. But we kind of did that already.
Yeah, we've done that. Like, this will be a third time.
Let me see what else.
You haven't commented that I'm drinking this green. I'm surprised you just haven't commented on it. Just that I keep on drinking.
Makes it seem like you're drinking it just so I would comment on it. It's very bright. What's in it? Spinach,
cucumber, ginger.
Wow.
Lemon juice, cayenne pepper, and that's it.
That's healthy.
And parsley. Yeah, I'm healthy now, man.
Yeah, I'm trying to be healthy. I had a cold last week. Now Sarah has it, so I went out and bought Tylenol, cold. I got all kinds of shit. Didn't get the best thank you, by the way.
Yeah.
Drove around for an hour and a half getting medicine. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
what can you do?
You should maybe break up with her. Not grateful.
Talk about films that have good lines. The Last Boy Scout, Heist, Heartbreak Ridge all have a golden line.
What's the Heartbreak Ridge? Isn't that the one we talked about? It's the mentally handicapped kid who's
no Heartbreak Ridge is Clint Eastwood training the Marines, which is a movie that I enjoyed as a kid, but it's so crazy because they're like recon Marines. It's one of these movies that, like, you ever see it?
No, I never saw it.
He's like an old aging, military guy, and then he's troubled or whatever. He causes trouble, but he's like a great military guy. He's one of those guys. He's a controversial military guy.
Yeah.
At the time, he was old, but it was like 1982. He's probably like 50 at the time.
Yeah.
And they get him. They have this one unit that's gone rogue, but they're like recon Marines who are like the most disciplined, badass guys. And they're like, we lost control of this unit. And they're like at the fucking Marine barracks. And they're just like playing rock and roll. They all have like earrings and shit. And they're like spraying mustard on each other and drooping each other. And he has to come in and like get them into shape. But you're like, what Marine unit is like this?
Fall like just unravels, like a Green Beret is just all fat. And
that's what it's like. And there's one guy, the Swede, he's like a big bodybuilder. And and Mario Van Peebles is like the rock and roll singer who steals Clint Eastwood's money on the road. And then it turns out he's one of these Marines. So it's like, oh no.
Had the black guy steal the money?
He stole something. I don't know. He screwed him out of a
I think
seat
that
or
might be
something.
my least favorite genre, the platoon type. Like, I told you Louis made us watch fucking what's it called? The Great Escape.
Oh, right.
And I would have rather he jacked off in front of me. It was like the worst fucking movie. Have you seen this shit, The Great Escape?
I don't know. I don't think I did.
Just it's one of those movies where it's just a platoon in the POW camp and they all just want to find a way to escape. And of course, it's like the polite Nazis again who are just like, you're not gonna escape. We're gonna watch you. It's just fucking hated it.
Yeah, he's made me watch he made Sarah and I watch some 80s movie with Chris Penn from, I don't even know. It was like one of the worst movies I've ever seen. And then it ended and we went right into another movie. I try to do a bit about it. Like he'll show you movies from the 70s and 80s or even the 50s that are like 22% on Rotten Tomatoes.
I know, it's insane. He'll force you to watch like a really old movie.
A really old bad movie.
An old bad movie that was bad at the time that no one's ever seen for 80 years. Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah,
He'll watch he just likes to he'll watch anything and like anything that's like weird, it's brutal.
But then if it's something great, he'll just be like, that sucks. I hate that guy's face. It's terrible.
But anyway, let's do some more questions.
He's also a guy, I tried to write this bit too, of like, if you say you haven't seen a movie, you just have to lie because he's like, all right, here's every detail of the movie from beginning to end. Like, so I have to go like this. Oh yeah, I loved it. Yeah. All right, there's so many here. Oh, The Wailing, the Korean movie. Did you watch that movie? I watched it during pandemic. I love that movie.
No, that documentary?
No.
The Wailing?
It's like a crazy, almost sci-fi horror thriller.
Oh, I never heard of it.
It's really fucking great. Someone wrote, why don't y'all talk about what you think of Bollywood? Start off by discussing what you already know about it, and then maybe watch a couple of movies and discuss it in an episode.
Oh, yeah. It seemed like at first he thought we already knew about Bollywood. And I'm like, I think they think we know more about movies than we do. I'm not really up to date with my Bollywood.
Yeah, I don't either. He's like, love from Delhi. So I appreciate you listening all the way in India, but
Is that an India guy?
No.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't really watch Indian musicals.
This is interesting. This guy says, I've never heard you or Raanan mention Richard Linklater, but I think we have mentioned him quite a bit.
Yeah, I love Richard Linklater. I love Boyhood. I love the Before trilogy. Yeah.
He made that horrendous Bernadette movie.
What movie?
His most recent one. Where in the world is Bernadette Polly or whatever?
What is that? Yeah.
It's about a woman named Bernadette. It's
bad.
It got like 11% Rotten Tomatoes. I haven't watched it. It's on the plane. I might try.
And then he also did that movie about like veterans with a really bad title. What was that called?
Flags of Our Fathers or something like that. It is something like that. Last Flag Flying.
Is that what it was? Well, what's the other one? There was two that came out that year because the other one was like they can't get too far on foot. Remember that? What was that? Was that not him?
I don't think so. I don't know.
With Jonah Hill. Anyway, but
the Last Flag thing was almost like a sequel to The Last Detail, which you never watched. We were supposed to watch it for Nicholson, one of my favorite movies ever. We should watch it at the house now. You can come downstairs. I own it.
Yeah, I'll watch The Last Detail.
It's hilarious. But that one I actually thought was pretty good. It's not great, but there's some funny moments in it.
I mean, we should do Boyhood, honestly. Boyhood is like an amazing movie that really changed my life. Even though I got a text that Robin Williams died halfway through the movie, it kind of ruined it for me a little.
Why did it change your life? What does that mean?
I mean, it didn't change my life. It was just like a monumental experience.
Every time I started with Natalie Portman?
No.
I saw her on the street outside of Arlene's Grocery years ago. Yeah. She looked great. And she was with a dude, had like high heels, just looked awesome.
Oh, man.
But I was like, hey, Natalie, and she asked for directions. That's what they were like. They're like, which way is Houston? And I was like, it's this way. And then I said, by the way, Garden State just changed my life. And she was like, oh, wow. And then I went, no, it didn't. I don't know why I said that. I'm sorry. I was like, I shouldn't have said that. And she laughed. And I was like, but it's great. I thought it was fantastic. I enjoyed it. And she's like, oh, that's really sweet. And I was like, okay. And then I was actually going the same way as them, but I just walked the opposite direction because I was like, I can't keep standing with these people.
Yeah, I guess change my life is a real overused term because I was like, it changed my life. No, I mean, the truth is no movie has changed my life.
Oh, I think Ferris Bueller for me was a huge influence.
Well, it didn't change the progression of your life. I guess it changed. I mean, Flight probably changed your life because it seems like that influenced you to do AA.
Yeah.
But I never like saw a movie and then became like a born again Christian or something. Like no movie has changed the journey of my life.
Well, that's sad.
I mean, I don't. I mean, but when I say change my life, I mean it's changed me internally.
Yeah, that's your life.
That's my life. Yeah. So
I
yeah,
mean, really, every movie changes your life to some degree.
Of
I
course,
mean,
that's
because
true.
it sends a different direction, a different
yeah,
path.
yeah. So I think Boyhood, on some level, it just affected me and made me think about art in a different way.
Yeah, it's tremendous. And it's one of the worst Oscar non-wins ever. It lost to, I forget what year that was.
You gotta give it to, even if it was bad, you should just give it to it for it taking 12 years.
But I think someone else did that too, because there was a whole controversy that someone was like, I did this before. Fuck you.
Someone did that?
Yeah.
Oh, well, he did.
I remember reading about it. But no, Boyhood's amazing. And then the trilogy is all incredible. Every one of those movies is great. The second one's the best, in my opinion. That ending is so good and so sexy.
It's a Nina Simone song.
Yeah. And when she goes, it's fading to black. When she's dancing, she goes, "You're gonna miss that flight." I'm like, "Oh my god!"
I know
that's just so good.
Honestly, that's really like I like the other one. I actually, now that I think about it, I don't know if I actually ever saw the third one, but the second one,
the third one's great.
Really?
It's so great.
Yeah, I got to see the third one, but I honestly remember watching the second one in theaters and being like, "This movie's a masterpiece."
The third one is so good. It's the only one that there's parts of it that don't focus on them. There's like the family, you hear them talking, but there's great dialogue, and it has the best relationship fight ever in a movie, ever depicted.
Oh, really?
They fight, and it's like unbelievable. It's so fucking real. You're like, holy shit. It makes you uncomfortable. You're like, this is crazy. It's like sitting in on, it's like doing Rich and Bonnie's podcast.
Yeah, I guess in a way, that trilogy is kind of very similar to Boyhood in the sense that they did film it. If you look at it as just one movie, they filmed it over a long period of time. But
also, we're not even mentioning Dazed and Confused, which is one of the best movies ever. One of my absolute favorite movies.
And honestly, like honestly, School of Rock is fucking great.
School of Rock is great, and I love the baseball movie. Everybody Wants Some. I think that's really fun. You talk about Goodfellas being the most rewatchable movie. Dazed and Confused, it has to be 1A. You can, because it's just so much fun. It's absolutely the funnest movie, and it's hilarious, and it's touching.
Is McConaughey having sex with like minors in that movie? Is that the...
Oh God! Don't be that guy.
I'm not going to be that guy. I'm not judging. I'm just curious. You know how I am. I'm interested in seeing how things don't hold up. I'm not judging, but
I think he fucks high school girls, but it's 1970s fucking high school girls. Yeah, that was cool. Yeah. You can fuck elementary school kids in the 70s.
But yeah, Linklater's the best.
Yeah, Linklater fucking rules, and we've talked about him before. You got to listen more.
Fucking asshole.
What? I asked Mark this question before, which is funny. Asking Mark a movie question. That's not really his bag.
Yeah.
Which Back to the Future supporting character could best carry their own movie, and what would the plot be? That is a hilarious question to ask Mark Norman. I don't think Mark's seen Back to the Future.
Comedy. He just walks away.
That's hilarious. That's a good question. Which Back to the Future supporting character? You're not a big Back to the Future guy.
I'm not a big Back to the Future guy, but you're talking. So they're talking about a spinoff, right? So like
which character? Movie? I mean, it's hard to not say Doc.
How's it not Doc? Who else? Who else is it going to be? Fucking Elizabeth Shue?
Maybe he's not. She's only in the sequel. Maybe they consider him a main character.
Yeah, if you consider him a main character, then I guess it has to. Well,
the dad. I mean, Crispin Glover is pretty amazing. Biff is pretty amazing.
Biff would probably be. I mean, like Biff, you could do like a Wicked with Biff, where you find out why.
You saw Wicked? You fucking queer.
I'm a big musical guy. You didn't know that?
I like musicals too. I saw Billy Elliot. It's the most I've cried ever at any piece of art in my life.
Yeah, musicals are incredible. You ever see Sweeney Todd?
Funny. No, I hate Sweeney Todd. I saw the movie. I think it stinks.
It's great. Oh, it's amazing. I love it.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Have we ever done Tim Burton?
No.
We should do that.
Big Fish, one of my favorite movies. Probably in my top 12.
Big Fish. I mean, I love Batman.
Batman's great. I know you love Batman.
That's a stand-up performance, right, Keaton? I guess if you throw it,
get out of here. He did comedy 3 times in 1981. Shut up. We might as well put Steve Buscemi in there too. Steve Buscemi and Reservoir Dogs. Best stand-up.
All right. What other questions we got?
I mean, that's it for the Back to the Future. I guess Biff running the what's the plot?
You
hate
Biff.
Back to the Future.
No, I'll plot Biff. He's he's in jail for attempted rape, and he becomes like a born again Christian.
Where are you on? Where are you on? That's pretty good. Where are you on John Carpenter? I love The Thing and I love Big Trouble in Little China. I got to do a deeper dive.
I love a lot. I love The Thing. I love In the Mouth of Madness. I don't know if you've seen that. It's great. It's like kind of like
No.
meta horror movie. I really like. I've been meaning to actually see some of his other movies because I've heard they're great, like The Fog and They Live, which I haven't seen. I hear is great.
Oh, They Live. I saw that's Roddy Piper.
Yeah, I mean it's probably a little silly, but
It's ridiculously silly.
Yeah. But I think Halloween is so stupid and like just dated and boring. You know?
Oh yeah, I forgot about Halloween. Halloween's fun.
It's just like, I don't know. It's just like just I guess at the time it was interesting, but it's just like there's so little going on there. It's just a guy in a mask killing people. You ever
No,
think,
I get it. We talked about this recently.
You know how The Mask is William Shatner?
Yeah.
You knew that, right?
Yes.
That, I realized that must be very weird for him. And false, maybe a little insulting that they used a mask of him to create one of the most scary creatures.
I think it was like an outtake of what it was going to be a Captain Kirk mask. And it's like they were working on that and then they used it's not doesn't actually look like him.
Well, I mean, it is him. They just kind of cut out the eyes, I think. So it just kind of looks weird. It doesn't look as, but I think it is that mask. I mean, well, what if there's a horror movie where people just wearing a mask of you? I mean, wouldn't you be a little insulted?
I think it would be more scary if it looked a lot like Captain Kirk and even had the uniform with the little fucking symbol. And he's like, I'm going to kill you.
I think it'd be good if it was just Captain Kirk killing people. That would have been awesome,
I mean, like Leonard Nimoy would be even better.
Yeah, he looks like a serial killer.
Like a real Spock. He's a Jew.
Yeah, he's a Jew. Also, Halloween is like he's just stabbing people the whole time. It's like it gets boring. There's not even other, like at least with Jason, he's got a chainsaw and a pool stick or a fucking arrow. Michael Myers is just he just keeps on stabbing people.
Yeah, I suppose so. I don't know.
It's just not boring.
It's not my favorite.
No. But yeah. Oh, that was another question. Favorite Halloween movie. But I guess Halloween, like the festival.
I think we got that last week. We got that last week.
All right,
or
fine.
2 weeks ago.
Yeah. All right. Well, then we won't listen to it.
This guy just says Costner movies. I love Kevin Costner. People hate him. Louis loathes him.
Louis hates anyone who's good looking. I'm pretty sure.
Is this better?
It's
lighting?
actually really. No, it's too dark.
It looks kind of sexy.
Nah, it's too dark. If Louis is friends with you, it's a little bittersweet because it means you're not good looking enough for him to hate you.
Oh yeah, we had this dialogue too. We're in repeats. We're in reruns.
Well, people are asking questions that we already answered, so no one gives a shit. You know,
that's a good point. But I love Kevin Costner. I like Silverado. I think that's a fun movie. Field of Dreams is one of the best movies ever. Bull Durham is one of the best movies ever. I also love JFK, even though you hate it. We got to do Oliver Stone at some point. I fucking love JFK. I think he's fantastic.
Kill myself before doing Oliver Stone. But I mean, I love him.
Love him in JFK.
I love him. I like Kevin Costner. I love him in Perfect World.
Oh yeah, you're gonna name the fucking dumb 2000. You're gonna shit on the 80s Costner and name like the dumb.
That's a great
the Dane Cook one.
No, that's a great Clint Eastwood movie, A Perfect World. Have you seen it? It's great. No,
I saw it when it came out, but I just didn't give a shit.
Who do you like more, Kevin Costner or Harrison Ford? I feel like either one could have played any other role that they played.
I'm a Costner guy. I never got that big into Ford.
You're not that big into Ford? Yeah.
I like Star Wars when I was a kid. I grew out. It's like the WWF to me. I kind of grew out of it. It's still fun, whatever. I always thought he was a dick. I was a Luke Skywalker guy. I wanted to be Luke. I thought Harrison or whatever, Han Solo was like an asshole.
Yeah.
Like a bully, shitty guy who was mean to Luke, who was my boy.
Yeah.
And Indiana Jones, I love. It's fun. The first one, I'm not as familiar with the other
Costner
sequels.
could have been Indiana Jones. Don't you feel like they could have played like each other's role? I feel like he could have been Indiana Jones.
I suppose so.
You know,
hey, this I just came to my mind. How do you feel about Last Picture Show? That's one of my favorite movies ever. Did you ever watch it?
Yeah, but I loved it at the time. You know, life is so long that it's like I don't know how I'd feel right now watching it. You know, that's the problem with a lot of movies. It's like I've just lived so long that I'm like, I think I love it, but I don't know if it holds up. But I remember the time I loved it. I mean, I think that might have been the first time I'd seen a Bush before. I mean, that movie is Bush heavy and so hot, but it's I remember loving it. Yeah.
And Sybil Shepherd's like the hottest. I don't know what made me think of that,
God.
but yeah, I'm Kevin Costner over Harrison Ford.
That movie was interesting real quickly because it was like black and white. So you think when you watch it, you thought it was a really old movie, but then it is like a movie where it's like full frontal nudity. So it's part of it's late 60s, right?
No, I think it's 73.
That's what I'm saying. It's like a 70s movie, but
no, you're not. You're saying late 60s.
Well, okay, but it proves my point even further that as a kid, when you watch it, you thought it was like a much older movie, but then you're like, wow, there's all this nudity. I guess shit was like looser back then, but really, obviously, it was just 70s, just black and white, you know?
Right.
It kind of felt like an old, which I guess was the point of the movie, because it's kind of about this transition from old classic movies to this new kind of experimental world. So like, it felt like an old movie, but with like, you know, a lot of hot nudity.
Yeah, it's good. It's really touching. That scene by the little reservoir where he talks about the town. It's a beautiful monologue.
I know. I should watch it again. And the
We should
mentally
watch
handicapped kid who got run over. Yeah.
Yeah, we should start watching
Spoiler
movies
alert.
together. You can just come
I
downstairs.
loved it. Yeah.
I'm not going to go to your house, but
Actually, can I just talk about a horror movie? I watched like on the plane that I just forgot how amazing it is Sixth Sense.
oh wow, I haven't watched that. It's another, like you just said, I haven't watched that movie in
Dude,
25 years.
that movie, here's my hot take, man. Bruce Willis, one of the most underrated actors. This is if anything I've come to learn from this podcast, it's that. He's an underrated actor. He's amazing in Sixth Sense. The fucking melancholy, and Haley Joel Osment's amazing, and it's like an incredible, the setup for the twist is great. It's just a great fucking movie with good dialogue too. Like, I don't know, M. Night Shyamalan's a good example of someone who just like, he just made great movies and then something fell off. Something like, it's like the talent just went away.
Did you say M. Night Somalian?
M. Night Shyamalan, M. Night Salamander,
Sound like-
M. Night Shyamalan Ding Dong.
M. Night Salamander.
I actually, like, I had a bid for my last album that I had to say M. Night Shyamalan. How do you say it?
I have no idea.
I
I'm not even
remember
gonna try because you're coming off as like a white supremacist in this episode. You made fun of black people. You're saying M. Light Shemba Ding Dong. I mean, this is horrible.
Well, I remember I recorded an hour. I think it was my album, and I had to say his name for a joke, and I had to like learn his name. It was like a really hard thing to do for the hour. I like just learning his name and not fucking it up.
You're like a hockey play-by-play announcer. You have to just study.
Yeah, but yeah, Sixth Sense is great.
Yeah, thanks for dismissing my funny line. But it's a sports reference.
It's a
so
sports reference, yeah.
Do you ever watch any hockey movies? There's so many great hockey movies. I think baseball is probably number one, but next is hockey for sports movies.
Yeah,
Mighty
and I haven't-
Ducks, Slapshot, the other one,
Mighty Ducks is fattest.
Fattest.
Yeah, like racist, but fattest.
What does that mean?
It's like prejudice towards fat people.
Oh, fattest.
Goldberg is like a fat minstrel character. They tie him up to and Jewish.
And
It's
a
like
Jew.
anti-Semitic. Yeah, it's like anti-Semitic and fat shaming. They tie him up to they literally tie him up to the goalie. Like they're torturing him. He's all fat, tied up there. And he's just like, I better not be able to make it to my bar mitzvah. It's just like it's a minstrel of everything I am.
They changed his life after that. That's what you need. You need this. You would have been able to handle the cab driver if somebody had tied you to a hockey net and shot pucks at you.
Man, it's like they're hanging fat people up. It's very insulting.
He was afraid of getting hit with the puck, so they said it's a little exposure therapy. You need that.
Yeah, but it's also just like let's tie up this fat guy. And I'm pretty sure that movie, I can't remember if it's that or Goonies, but all those movies, the fat kid, like when I was a really fat kid, right? I was like shy about eating. Like I wouldn't eat a lot like in public, but every fat kid in those children's movies are like, can we get some food? I'm so hungry right now. It's like they had no shame. They're always talking about how they want to eat. And that's like the real offensive. It's a fat stereotype.
Yeah, you're one of these guys that gets offended by nothing, can make any joke until it's about you. You're over here like M. Night Shyamalama Ding Dong. This guy immigrated here, probably had a horrible time. They all called him whatever, terrorist, la 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 la.
Shyamalama? Oh,
Yeah,
you don't know how to
Shyamalan.
pronounce it either. Shyamalama, la, la, la.
Yeah, but I'm not going, hey, you don't make fun of guys with glasses. I'm sorry.
First of all, I can make fun of other people's weird names. I have a weird name. It's like a black guy saying the N-word. I'm allowed to.
That's the third time you've said black guy saying the N-word.
I'm allowed. My name's Raanan Hirschberg. We're allowed to make fun of other weird names.
I
am
can
a
make
weird
fun. We
neighbor.
can make fun of whoever we want. You're one of these guys. That's what I'm saying. You're one of these people. You pick and choose.
I'm okay with making fun of anything except for fat, Jew, or speech impediment. I just don't find anything funny about that.
Yeah, you don't like when people press your buttons.
Yeah, that's a hate crime just now.
Buttons.
So yeah, but anyway,
we might have to wrap up, but we're gonna do a Patreon.
I know. We should wrap up. But yeah, I got to see the other hockey movies. You got Hoosiers and Is that not hockey?
That's
not-
hoops. Slapshot's great. You'd love Slapshot.
Slapshot. That's what I meant. Slapshot. The
Slapshot
other
is
one,
great.
Goonies, or
Oh, the Goon or something like that.
Goon, and
There's
the
Mystery
first-
Alaska.
Mystery Alaska. First 20 minutes of Happy Gilmore. Those are it, pretty much, right?
Yeah, there might be another one I'm missing. I'm not sure. Let me think.
But
I don't know.
the Slapshot's the great one.
That's great. Yeah.
All right, yeah, we'll do. We used to do sports movies. Remember, we did a lot of sports movies.
Yeah, I guess so. There's a lot of great baseball movies. There's a lot of great boxing movies. But we should wrap up. But we're going to do a Patreon. We got a Patreon coming. We're going to write roast jokes together. I got the big roast coming up in just a few hours. I'm 6 hours away from this roast. I'm going first, which I'm excited about. I got some good stuff. And
yeah, come to the Patreon.
Join the Patreon if you want to hear us bounce some bits.
Yeah. Well, you'll get to see the writing process, which is me writing for Joe. You'll get to see the writing.
No, literally none of your jokes are in.
Are you kidding me?
I'm not kidding you.
Oh man,
The Soder one is in there, but I don't even get it. I got too many jokes about Soder.
That Soder one is like killer. I said that in the car the other day driving. Like it just got a giant laugh. It's like such a good joke. I mean, it was Steve, but like it was such a good joke. Like
Steve, you can take a shit on Steve's belly button and he laughs.
Yeah, that's true. It's great. All right, so let's
plug your shit.
Well, all right, you can see me at so fucking Wednesday, Planet of the Tapes in Louisville, Kentucky. There's like 6 more tickets left, so get those now. I might add a second show, but maybe not. And then I'm at Go Bananas in Cincinnati. You ever play there?
Yeah, not for a long time, but I love that place. They were one of the only clubs that would headline me.
Yeah, they're great. Yeah, great club. They're still one of the only clubs that'll headline me. November 11th through 14th. And then I'm in Funny Bone, Albany, headlining there, November 19th through 20th. And then you can see me. I'm at the Doug Benson's Doug Loves Movies, 12 Days of Christmas at Gramercy Theater on November 28th. And then Velveeta Room in Austin. This is all running my hour before I tape my special. December 10th through 11th. Riot in Houston, December 17th through 18th. And then, of course, most importantly, if you live in New York, please come to my taping at the Comedy Cellar, December 21st, 8 and 10 p.m. The link to tickets on my bio at Raanan Comedy. You can reserve tickets now. You don't pay now. You pay at the door, and it's going to be a good time.
Oh, yeah. That way you can reserve tickets and save up all your money.
Save up all your money. And, yeah, please come. Am I going to fill it out?
Yeah, they'll fill it for you. It'll be great.
All right.
And join our Patreon. Raanan needs to pay rent for this empty room he's in.
I was squatting and now I'm paying $2,000 a month. So I've really financially I've made a very terrible decision.
Yeah, and I don't want to cover his rent. So for God's sakes, please
send the Patreon. Yeah, give us money.
And I'm in Portland this weekend, Portland, Oregon, November 11th through the 13th. If I didn't get COVID here at Skankfest, we'll see.
Yeah, well, hopefully you'll just give it to everyone and then find out you have it afterwards.
Yeah, that sounds good. So Portland this weekend. Please subscribe to Raanan's YouTube, to my YouTube. I'm going to put the link to everyth's in the bio. I won't forget this week.
Yeah, I gave it to you. You got it, right?
I know. I always forget. I'm not good. We got to get a producer. I got someone in mind. It's going to be good.
No, what's her name? Fanny?
Franny. She gets ads. She's not going to do our fucking YouTube shit, is she?
Oh, well, maybe not. Yeah.
I got someone good in mind.
She said she'd produce if we made a little more money. So,
yeah.
Or had more views.
Well, but we need a producer. It's like a catch-22.
I know. She's like, I'll produce you once you do a little better. Yeah. So we'll just 4,000 more. If you're watching, you're already viewing it. But we just need to get like 3,000 more people, and then she'll fucking produce.
It's gonna be great. But anyways, yeah, go subscribe to our YouTubes and tell a friend about the show. We got the best movie podcast going. We're having a lot of fun. Join the Patreon, and yeah, that's it.
That's it.
Great show. Say the thing.
I think you're supposed to say action first. No? Oh, cut.